There's one thing that needs to be clarified. All this like theories on evolution and all that shit without any fundamentals of facts and proof. I mean, it's all really decorated with a bunch of BS, honestly. To those people, right, who do the whole scientific process, whatever three methods there are, carbon dating, the actual standards of nature, right, whatever else there is, there's really an extra one on there. Science didn't tell you that because it'll contradict all their theories then. Welcome to Amalekite theories, the seed of Amalek at work. Alright, this one thing that has been so-called tested scientifically with rocks and dinosaurs, whatever, that you said have scientifically shown to have thousands of years in existence, yada yada yada. Now let's review the methods that you start with to so-called check if it's valid, to so-called prove it. It's been BS the whole time. Carbon dating, standards of nature, all that stuff, yada yada yada. But one thing that you guys are failing to realize is, let's say, okay, God created the world, Adam's created perfectly, Adam and Eve, etc., etc., etc. So, God created a perfect world, right? The world was spiritual. It was not physical. Touching stuff? Physical? Nope. It wasn't physical. When Adam ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, death came into the world, and the world became physical. Okay. But understand this. Now, if God created the world fresh, and He created it without death, how spiritually developed in light years was it, given the fact that the world also had to reach its potential and Adam had to do the messianic job till he failed, to basically reach the full potential that whatever creation could reach via Adam's guidance. Now, if God created the world without death and the standards of nature and the conditions and whatever were all different, and you check to see how many years back, scientifically, through the standards of nature, carbon dating, all that stuff, not even going to get into it. I mean, it's just a waste of time to talk about it at this point. Now, if the world was created in a perfect manner, unscathed with no death, and it was created spiritual at first, and Adam ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and then the world became physical with death in there, and everything became physical basically. Well, mostly. So, and you take anything in creation, really. Rocks, sand, fossils, dinosaur fossils. Dinosaurs, by the way, existed up until Noah's time. They became extinct in a flood. So, well, actually, they weren't. My bad. They became extinct. I need to check. Yeah, that was a problem. Pardon me for the mistake. They became extinct later on, actually. I just don't remember which time. Bible codes has this stuff. I don't remember which time. Sorry about the error. But basically, if you check with the so-called scientific methods, and the world was created spiritually, the world was spiritual, and it became physical after Adam committed his sin. So everything was created without death. How developed was it if it was spiritual, and after you ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it became physical? And you take the methods of science to check how many years of existence it had, and you're giving it a date or a certain time frame for its life. How so? If the world was created, developed maybe infinite light years away, how developed is everything else? You know what I mean? You know, maybe if it was permitted to get a piece of Adam's bone, maybe from the cave of Machpelah, wherever, you know, and you check his bones. I mean, obviously we can't really desecrate a human body, but if you were to check how many years he existed back, I'm sure you'd find a pretty far number, maybe farther than all of creation. You know, Adam and Eve, okay, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Jacob, Jacob's wife Leah, Edom's father, Esau's head being in there on Jacob's foot area. Well, what would you have to say? I mean, I did all this research. I got the answers. Not believing answers, but actual knowing answers. If I didn't know, I said, I don't know. But why am I sounding kind of, you know, to embarrass you a little bit? Because a lot of you really know deep down inside with your stupid theories that it's bullshit. And you still say it. You have a feeling, and you know inside this is bullshit. And you reach a point in your mind, and you're like, well, you realize this is bullshit. This and this and this put together. Put this and this together. If there's some research, and still, you preach the same bullshit. You mislead everybody. The Torah says a person, so it says something like this: a person who misleads someone is worse than the one who kills him. You set his truth, spiritual area, from what he knows, misled. That's no way to live life inside. That's like being buried alive internally. You know? So, if science so-called checks by these methods, well, why don't you learn how to check a world that was transformed from having no death when it was just created, which was spiritual and beautiful, to when everybody's daddy, Adam, ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the world became physical. Okay? Okay, so how developed was it spiritually for there to be so many proofs on everything that the Torah says, so-called Judaism, that people are going to put up bullshit theories when they know there's something not right about it? It's too much to get into, isn't it? So, how is science, by the so-called rules of nature currently, taking the so-called current rules of nature that apply now, would try to date back to something that was much different in nature anyway? Hell, they used to exist for a long time. Adam lived 930 years old. I mean, after the flood, the years declined. They used to live 300 years, 400 years, 700 years, whatever. So, if you're going to use these rules, I suggest you get all your facts straight. So, that's that. Case closed. I got nothing more to say. People keep talking about this too much, so none of you leaders are setting the record straight. Alright, I'll do it. I've got better things to do, but no problem. 1.